The twos. In general with the twos, it's about this duality of now we're presented with choice. The one has separated into a binary or duality, polarity, however you want to look at it. I prefer to think about things in polarities because to me, a binary is yes or no, and a polarity is like there's a spectrum of energy and you can exist anywhere on that polarized force, and you don't have to just like be one or the other. I think it incorporates acknowledging that like there is such a thing as masculine energy and feminine energy. At least I think so. There's lightness and darkness. And then there's so many shades between, and we can paint with all of them and use all of them. And I like this idea of polarity of two as opposed to binary. And we've got the Two of Wands. So here we see homeboy is looking at this globe and he's got like the wand in his hand and he's looking out at the unknown, the ocean, all the places he could go, the possibility. And then there's the wand behind him, which is the like stay at home in your castle. And he's like toying with this idea of, do I follow my passion or do I stay in the part of me that I know and is familiar? And that is kind of the choice of the Two of Wands. The Two of Pentacles, to me, I see this as like an awakening to the fact that our material reality is in constant flux, and we see this really dramatic wave with a ship on it, like two ships on really insanely wild waves, and the pentacles, one is up, one is down, but they're in this eternal, I forget what that thing's called, but the infinity symbol. And also, I just want to say, he has this wild hat on, and it reminds me of Pharrell when he was in the like happy song era, when he was wearing those big like Elmer Fudd cowboy hats that were a foot high. I don't know why he's wearing that, but anyway, he's like balanced on one foot, moving the other. So I feel like it's about learning this idea that like what we have materially is always going to shift, and we have to shift with it and learn to be malleable and flexible in order to continue on our journey. The Two of Cups. So here we see, right, two people coming together, water, relationships, connection, like having this encounter with the other. And we see the caduceus, which is like a symbol of transformation and healing. So it's like the potential to encounter another person and together co-create this relationship that can foster transformation. And if we were all just alone forever, we'd be crazy. So Two of Cups, baby. And the Two of Swords. So I feel like the swords are always the most like cryptic, and I think there's a lot of wisdom in them, like there is in all the tarot cards, but it's the swords make you work for it. So the Two of Swords, we see the woman blindfolded holding these two big ass swords, and like when I see this card, I'm just like struck by how huge the swords are. And it's like she could not even wield those two swords at once. And so this is a very personal interpretation. I don't know if this is validated by other people or whatever. But when I see this card in this particular moment, I think like she's got to choose one or the other, because again, the twos, we are now in a place of like duality, and the swords are about choice and intellect and decision, and like you have to leave something behind, you have to let go of something to create space for something else. Swords are like cutting, it's a sculptural energy. And so I feel like she's blindfolded because she doesn't have enough information to really understand like what tools she needs or what is in front of her, but she is holding potential and possibility. And I think to me this card is about like accepting that you are in a place where you recognize the power of having choice, even if you don't have all the information or experience you need to make the best choice. Just simply acknowledging that choice exists, I think is really can be revolutionary in situations where we may feel blindfolded, to be like, oh my God, but I have choice. And I think that is kind of the part of the wisdom of this card. And if I were to go even deeper, I feel like the fact that there's a body of water behind her with just these like subtle little pieces of land peeking out, like sort of the consciousness emerging ever so slightly from all this deep unconscious, energy and thought. The moon being in this crescent, like just only a very little bit is visible, but there's so much more that is available. And so like this card is so much about awakening in a lot of ways. So yeah, Two of Swords. And that's the twos. Dualities, baby.